Welcome. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Moment is Messy podcast with Stephanie. It's your host, Stephanie, here. It is day one, episode one. Super excited to be here today. Super nervous to be here. This is the first ever for me. So it's one of those moments where, reality has sunk in and it's time to get started. So I am excited you're here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in. And we're going to jump right in. So, this is our first episode for Mom and is Messy. And it is, if you have not been able to tell already from the title, for mothers. So, mainly my main audience is going to be moms. But let me tell you, any parent can join in, tune in. If you can relate to it, then you are welcome to be here. So today we're just going to do an intro to what the podcast is going to be about, what you can expect while you're in here, while you're tuning in with us, and just kind of getting the nitty gritty of who your host is. Because if you have not met me in person, then this would be your first time meeting me. So thank you. Thank you for being here. And I appreciate you tuning in and being a part of this. Share with all of your mom friends if you find that this is something that they can benefit from. So, my name is Stephanie. I am in my mid 30s. I am a single mom of three challenging but wonderful teenagers. At this time, I have a 17-year-old, 16-year-old, and a 14-year-old. So, life is busy. Life is super, super busy. Um, it is different every year. Every year I go through something different. So we are going to be digging into the nitty gritty of that. That is one of the reasons why this podcast came to life. But another thing about me is that I am a worshiper. I am a minister at my church, Transformation Church of Lehigh Valley. So kudos and ups to them. Love my church family. So if you did not catch that, worshiper minister in the dance ministry for Ruach Elohim is the name of our dance ministry at Transformation Church in Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania. If you are in the Lehigh Valley area, come by, because we would love to see you there. Another thing about me is I strive to become an entrepreneur. So at this time, I currently am in a season where God has stretched me and I have become more in depth with my motherhood than I would have thought I would be at this point in life. Just thinking, they're teens, so I'm feeling like, they're partially independent. They're gonna try to do things on their own, but God called me back home. So here I am. I'm part-time working and I'm part-time home mom, but full-time really for all those mothers out there. Y'all know that this job is full-time. It is never part-time. So I strive to, at some point in my life, own my own business and entrepreneur my way through life, whether it be through this podcast, whether it be through something else that God has placed in my life. But at this time, this is where He has put me. I am my nationality, I'm Puerto Rican. So all my Hispanics out there, all my Latinas, where y'all at? Where y'all at? Come and join us over here because we're gonna be talking some real, up in the Puerto Rican, this is Spanish and you can't deny it mentality sometimes. Um, but yes, my Latinas, we are here. We are here. So I was not born over there. I was born in the States, but I was raised in partially in Pennsylvania, partially in New Jersey. Most of my teen years were in New Jersey. That is where I met the father of my kids. So that is one thing about me that you will learn a little bit about in this podcast because I will be talking briefly about how I became a single mom and, how things ended up becoming a little bit more of a struggle than me just zooming through mom life. I don't think any of us zoom through mom life. So that is one of the biggest reasons why I decided to bring this podcast to life because I just feel like we need to support each other. We need to be here for each other. I noticed a lot through becoming a mom that many mothers try to make it seem like they have it all together. I don't know. I don't know if they really do, but I just feel like there's not a day that I feel like I got it all together. So, yeah, we're gonna be real here. We're gonna be real. We're gonna talk about some real life struggles. So if you have anything that you want me to touch base on to have a topic about, then just let me know. Send me an email. I'll put in all the details. But at this time, just gonna keep on going through a little bit more about me. So, another topic is that I am a domestic violence survivor. I ended up actually coming to Pennsylvania through a season in my life where I was going, a season in my life where I was going through some very rough patches where I was surviving through some violent things happening in my life. So, it's not really, part of my life that I talk about too much, but if you guys want me to, share a little bit about that so that way you feel like you have someone to talk to or you feel like you're not alone because there are many women out there, and men. I can't say it's all for women, but I can only tell you about me. So, yeah, I think I suffered through that for about 3 years before I decided that it's time for me to go. I'm sorry, but I cannot stay here any longer. This is not for me. So I ended up actually coming to Pennsylvania in like midnight, maybe 1 in the morning, trying to escape from something very, very vivid still in my mind, but not something I really like to talk about. So yeah, just came running over here to in the rescue to try to find my dad again, and here I am. 3 kids in my teenage years, and they're in their teens, and they're still here in PA. So if you're in Pennsylvania, come find me because we can chat mom to mom. We can chat. We can be there for each other. We can, try to lift each other up. Another thing is I am the sole provider of this family. So any of my mamas that are single still, that are not living with a partner, I hear you, I feel you, I am one of you. If you have a partner and you're doing this thing where you have a partner, but you're still kind of raising the kids on your own because your partner is the provider, it's kind of the same thing. I mean, you're not out there like providing, but you're still being a mom by yourself because sometimes they're absent. The other significant other is absent and they're not there, and it feels like you're alone sometimes. So I hear you on that too. But in this household, in my household, I am the only provider. So God is my provider and I lean on him. I lean on him, let me tell you. But we are gonna. That's a little bit about me. I don't like to go into too many details about who I am, but I am going to be sharing little by little. I promise you, little by little, I will be sharing all of the details of motherhood and what is brought to my life because that brings us to our next topic. How was this podcast birthed? So let me tell you, I am not a person that will just put out my business. I'm not. But I was actually talking to one of my friends at work, one of my coworker girls. She knows who she is, but she kind of leaned this into my heart, even though it was already there. I was just kind of like denying it. And then I mentioned it to her, and she was like, "Girl, you need to stop playing around and just get this done because I would be listening to that every single day. Stop playing." And I was like, "I don't know how I'm gonna do that. I'm too busy." So, shout out to you, busy moms, and happy Mother's Day. I should have started with that, but I did not. But it is Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all my mothers out there. You guys are killing it. You're doing an awesome job. And whether you feel like it or not, I'm sure that you're doing your best that you can in that very moment. But back to what I was talking about. How did this become something that was birthed in my spirit? So, um, about a year and a half ago, I was going through another rough patch with the kids. How many of y'all know that it's not just 1 year that you go through something or 1 month you go through something? There's always something different that pops up in the life. So last year or about a year and a half ago was a really rough time for me with the kids, and I was going through something different with each and every one of them. So it's not like I could just handle one thing. And so a lot of times I felt like I was alone, and I'm like, am I the only mom like going through this? I feel like I'm literally the only person on earth that is going through something like this with each and every kid in a different stage in life. And I was chit-chatting with one of my coworkers, and funny story is she was going through something really, really similar. And I never really thought, "Oh, let me talk to a friend," because I'm very much an introvert. So I will not be going out there talking to my friends about everything that happens in my life. I kind of just like go through life and I tell them the good things and I share the good things, but I don't always share the bad things. I don't know if you can hear me on that, but if you're that type of person that you don't always share the bad things, sometimes it's good to find that person that you can share everything with, and there's no judgment and there's no ridiculing or like side-eyeing or I don't know if I understand you on that. There's always like this one person that can understand you, and if you don't have that person, we're going to talk about that too. But I was chit-chatting with her in the office and I was telling her a little bit about what I was going on. And she was like, girl, let me tell you, I was going through the same thing. And I was literally thinking to myself last night, I swear I'm the only mom that's going through this. So we were having the same thoughts, going through the same thing, but yet we felt alone. Like that was crazy. We felt so alone. So that is why, that is one of the main reasons why this podcast was birthed. But the other main reason is because God put it in my heart to do it, because it's not something that I would do just, oh, let me just pop up and roll up and open up a podcast. Let's just throw that in there. No, not something I would do. So I prayed on it. I talked to God about it, and yeah, here I am. He said, you must do it. You must share what you've gone through, because you didn't just go through this for you to go through it alone. There's other moms out there going through it. There's other parents out there going through it, and they need to hear that they're not alone, so they can feel like there's somebody that shares their, you know, trials, shares their pain, shares their joy, but can also be real about it and can also, talk and see what they can do to make things better. So that is one of two, three, maybe main reasons why this podcast is here today. So we are here, we're getting started, and there's no turning back now because the record button was pressed. So here we are. All right. So, next topic is going to be, how did it become a dream and bringing it into reality? So, I think that this was something that took a while before I decided to make it a reality, even though it was something that God had placed in my spirit. I still was like pushing back on Him on it. I was like, I know what you're telling me, Lord, but I don't know if I really want to do that just yet. I don't think I'm ready just yet. So I don't know if y'all know what I'm talking about, but I'm pretty sure that there's more than one person here that knows what I'm talking about when I say I don't know if I'm ready to move into that just yet. I need to be prepared. I need to know where I'm going. I need to know what I'm doing. Like, why is this here? Why did you give this to me? And we don't need to know all the answers of why we need to step into something and move into something, but it has to be a pull. Not like for me specifically, when I move into anything big like this, it has to be a pull from God. Like God has to be tugging at me, like, you need to go, you need to move, this is for you. I'm calling you. There's no doubt about it. Whether it's through other people that are in agreement with me, whether it's through other people that are in agreement with me, or whether it's through, his word, or a word from my pastors at my church, that I'm just like, Lord, you're speaking to me. I hear you. Trust me, I hear you. It's happening. But yeah, this is how it became a reality, because little by little I started jotting things down. Honestly, mom life started happening, things started happening, and every time I went through something, I was like, I used to do a lot of lives on Facebook whenever I went through something, but that was more like during COVID time. And a lot of people were telling me, "Oh, I missed your lives." And I'm like, "Really?" Like, I couldn't even think about people missing my lives. But I was like, "I'm sorry. I've just been super busy." And I have been busy. It's not that I haven't, but it just wasn't taking precedence in my life at that time. So, this was something that God was telling me, you need to share the things that are happening, because you need to be bold and just be honest, because there's people that feel like, you know they can't share these things. They have to keep it hidden because nobody else is going through it, and they're going to look bad, and they're going to look like they don't care, and they're going to look like, they're a bad mom or a bad parent, like they're not paying enough attention to their children. And that's not the case. I think kids will go through what they need to go through. Life will throw things at them. As a child, you can try to throw it back and remember and think about all those things that you went through that you never spoke about with your parents, but you went through them. And it's nothing that they did that caused you to go through them. Sometimes maybe it was, but most of the time, for me specifically, wasn't something that they caused me to go through. But I went through them and I kept them in, and I just kind of strolled through life and did it. So as I was going through these things these past 2 years, they were just like, it's really, really, really tough times that I was going through, which we will talk more about it in future episodes. Um, I wrote them down, what I was feeling at that moment, exactly was happening, how I got through it, how my faith got me through it, how my actions got me through it, how my mind, my stability, and my mental status got me through it. And when I wasn't stable, what did I do to get myself back to that place where I felt connected again to my humanity and to who I was as a person? And I have a few of those things written down, and actually 2 years accumulated of things. And here we are today. So, little by little by little, guys, if you have dreams, keep going after them. Little by little, they will come, just one step at a time. Literally, that's how it was, one step at a time. I just kept on um, writing my ideas down, writing my things down. And there were spurts and moments where I was just in the car and I was like, you know what? I need to talk to somebody about this. And I didn't really know who to talk to, but sometimes writing down what I was going through helped me out a lot. And those sometimes are things that we want to keep to ourselves, which that's exactly how I felt. I'm like, this is for me. But, God was pressing in my spirit. And it's not really just for you, it's for many, many mothers out there that are going through the same thing, or that will go through the same thing, or that have already gone through it. And they can, understand where you're coming from and possibly give advice to other mothers. So, that brings me to my next topic. So I wanted to keep this first episode short and sweet. I hope you guys got a gist of what you're going to be expecting. But there's going to be like a whole bunch of little things here and there. I'm probably going to be interviewing some moms that I know that have gone through a lot, but have made it on the other side. They alive and they made it. So I'm looking forward to that, because I really think that when you sit down and you talk about these things that you've gone through in motherhood, and you're open about it and you're honest, you kind of reflect and see, wow, I can't believe that I actually moved past that. And here I am. And here my kids are. They're alive and well. Nothing happened to them. They're doing good. Maybe that's not the case. Maybe something really bad happened, but being able to talk about it, open up about it, maybe get some action plan into place. Like if you're needing help, getting professional help is always plus. So, I want to talk about those things. I want to be able to be honest about those things. I want to be raw about those things. I don't want to be hiding anything regarding motherhood because I feel like a lot of people they put up the perfect things in life, especially on social media nowadays. Social media is so huge now. Um Talking about that, quick topic. They're posting things about like show your baby bump for Mother's Day. And I'm like, I don't even have pictures on my phone of my baby bump. Why? Because all those pictures were actually taken with a physical camera. So that's how big social media has become. And in those years that I was raising my kids, but I was a teen mom, so I don't even think I talked about that, but I will go on that as well. So I gave birth to my first child when I was 17. I had my second child when I was turning 19, and then my third child when I was 20, turning 21, something like that. It's all a blur. It's all a blur. Let me tell you, those years are all a blur. But yeah, so being a teen mom, finishing high school while giving birth to your child and trying to raise a child while you are still a child is not easy. It is not an easy task and not something I would advise any mother to do. So that is my advice to you. Don't do these things early. It's not worth it at that time. I'm sorry. I don't think it is. Um, but yeah, so that is a little bit extra of what I was going to say. But talking about that, social media is going to be a big place where you're going to find us. That comes to our next topic. Where can you find the Mom and His Messy podcast? So, this podcast is going to be uploaded onto YouTube. I do have a YouTube channel. I just opened it probably this past week. I believe that's when I opened it. So, I will be sharing the link underneath of this podcast when I post it on social media. So if you see that link, just go subscribe so you don't miss any of the episodes and you can be up on the new. I will be looking forward to doing my best to upload a new episode once a week. Um, but I'm going to start slow. So at some point, I do want to go into once a week. I'm probably going to start off with once every 2 weeks just because mom life is a little busy right now with school. So once summer hits, you'll be seeing more once a week episodes. So stay tuned for that. But YouTube is going to be the main spot where you're going to find this podcast at this time. I am looking to upload it onto Spotify. So I am working on that as well. This is a one woman show here. So bear with me, but I'm working on getting it on Spotify. Once I have that up there, I will absolutely let you guys know to what's going to be the official name on the Spotify account and to go subscribe so you don't miss the episodes there. At this time, it's just going to be audio. I do not have the confidence yet to go on video. I'm gonna be completely honest, completely honest. I used to do lives all the time on Facebook and I was like, just kind of just going with the flow. Well, let's hit live. Let's go live. Everybody was doing it during COVID, so I really didn't care. But now that it's not really a thing that just random people do, it becomes a little bit more awkward for me. So going on video is just a little bit more. I would have to fine tune some things, probably have an office and be a little bit more professional. Right now, I'm actually shooting this in my room, recording this in my room. So I don't really want to go live on camera just yet. Um, but if that's something that you would like, if you guys as an audience would like to see an actual video live recording, let me know because I will take it into consideration if that's something that you guys look forward to. But definitely when I get started on doing interviews, which I will be doing in the future, we will be going live with recording because it's different. It's not just camera on me. I'm sharing it. I like to share the fun. So we're gonna share a lot of fun here. So yes, YouTube is gonna be one main thing. I do have an Instagram page posted, so I'll be posting updated news on the Instagram page. Go check that out as well. It is just called Mom and is Messy. I wonder if I put podcasts in there. I'm thinking out loud, but let me see. Let me see. All right. If you follow me on Instagram already at stephanie.inspire, you will see that I tag my other page for Mom and is Messy. So that page is going to be specifically for mom life and podcast life, whereas my other page goes into my other things of life. So if you just want to be in on the details of the podcast, then please go and follow the Instagram account, Mom and is Messy. I will be looking to add it onto Facebook. Right now, I do not have it on Facebook, so I'm just going to be adding this to my Facebook personal account, which you can also get the link to if you go on my Instagram account. So Stephanie with a PH, as you see spelled on this screen here. And it's going to be stephanie.inspire. So that is going to be the Instagram account for my personal. On that personal, you can find the links to the podcast Instagram page and my Facebook page. And also, you can also find the link to the YouTube account on there as well. So you just have to go into my profile and check it out from there. But thank you so much for having me, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today on this beautiful day, Mother's Day, which I'm about to go to bed, y'all, and get ready for church in the morning. So kudos to all those moms out there. You guys are killing it. You guys are doing the best job you can, even if you don't feel like it is the best job you can do as a mom right now. You show up. Just show up. Honestly, if you just start showing up little by little, the fact that you're showing up, they see it. Um, and you got this. You got this. We'll talk more. We will talk more. But I hope you guys enjoyed this first episode. Next episode, it's gonna be. Let me see if I share the topic now. Bear with me, y'all. Second episode is going to be about how there is no perfect parent. So that's going to be interesting because I'm sure a lot of people will have a lot to say about that. But if you have any topics that you want me to touch base on, I would love to hear from you. Please email me at mominismessy@gmail.com. There's no apostrophe there. So it's exactly how it's spelled in the name of the podcast, but no apostrophe. And you will just email me right there. Just let me know. Say, hey, Stephanie, I listened in on your podcast and I would really like you to talk about this topic. But the reason why I titled this episode, Who Am I That You Are Mindful of Me, is because it brings me back to the time in my life where I first gave my life to Christ. And I said, gave my life again to Christ as an adult, where you're actually completely aware of what you're doing. And I always ask God, like, who am I that you can actually forgive me for my sins? And like, who am I to you, And it brings me to the verse that says, Psalms 8:4. It says, what is mankind that you are mindful of them? Human beings that you care for them. So God's so amazing, so supernatural, but yet he has so much grace for us and he cares for us as human beings. So that's how I felt. And I felt like I had to share who am I to myself in a sense of like, who am I right now in this moment in time of motherhood, and give you guys that input into my life so you know where I'm coming from. So um, you guys can listen back and hear a little bit more. If you want me to touch base more in my life, then let me know. But I think right now I just want to keep it towards motherhood because that is what my life has been about these last 17 years. All right, y'all. Stay blessed. Much love. And I will see you next time.